Ladies and gentlemen, support for this podcast is brought to you by our boys at Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk for all of your on-demand data needs. If you are trading crypto, slinging gold, shotting lumber, whatever you want, Live Squawk, powered by marketsquawk.co.uk has you covered. Support for this podcast is also brought to you by our boys at xbrain.co.uk. Enter promo code Fighting Words to now save 20% because our code has been used so much, they've reduced it and they do not want us to benefit that much. 20% Fighting Words. Tonight we are joined by, listen, an absolute legend, someone we've seen fight a couple of times in person. The following that this handsome, virile, aggressive young man has is unbelievable. The Albanian king, the one and only Florian Marku, joins us. How are you doing?
Welcome, champ.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Very, very well. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Like I was saying, I know that you're a super busy man. You're on holiday with your family, which shows the level of dedication that you have to the craft, media, the whole lot. You are in this for a massive, massive big time. How you been?
I'm good. Resting a little bit at the moment.
Yeah.
No plan. No fight date yet. And yeah.
How are you finding like life with like Sky, Boxer, all of this stuff? Because they're proper coming up. You've made a brilliant move in joining them. You still with? Are you still in constant chats with like Ben and the crew?
Yeah, I am still with Sky. I like a lot Sky Sport. I think is the biggest platform right now at the UK.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With Ben, I know Ben before the Boxer sign with work with Sky Sport. You know, I know him from my beginnings. I had a fight with Boxer, and yeah, we have a really good contact. Very, very good with him. You know, relation.
Yeah, they seem to be putting out a very nice product. They do a very good job of promoting you. Like the show that we see you headline on. I don't even think the intention was to headline. And then when we're at the OVO, and like I was saying to you, everyone's giving it the Albanian Eagle. They got no choice. They have to make you main event at that point, right? You're undeniable.
Exactly. If I bring the excitement, I bring the fans, then what else they want?
This is it. Exactly. And then it's just a matter of time for everyone else to catch up. You're WBC now silver champ. That puts you in a very good spot. So now when you're seeing people like, you know, David getting a fight with Terence Crawford, and like obviously we'll talk about Conor and the other domestic dons in a little bit. How long do we think before we start seeing you really on world stage? I know you're like, listen, you will fight anyone at any time. Like I would imagine that if I bumped into you in the restaurant right now, I better apologize. Otherwise something's going to get very spicy very quickly. No.
I think. I know I'm ready from tomorrow to fight everyone at the top level. I've said it, and with whoever I will fight, I'm gonna find my way inside there to win. Many people doesn't believe, but when the time comes and I will be in front of someone that they will think that Florian is the underdog and this other guy, then I'm gonna prove what I'm about, you know. But these are top names. My dream to fight with this kind of opponents, to fight for a world title. But I think now I'm there in the right way, and very soon these fights will be there.
Good. That's what we want to hear. And like you were saying, like you're on the biggest platform, you have a huge promoter and huge backing now, and a massive following. It's a matter of time before now we start seeing the opportunities to match the exposure, which is fantastic, right? And it's about time. You know, fighters now are due to be tested. You have no fear, no shame in being tested. You want the fights. It's time to get the fights.
Exactly.
So, give me a little rundown of the scene now in your division in the UK, because obviously, like we said before we started, things like Conor. He, you know, he didn't even, I don't even think he tried to mention your name. It was like one of the bogeymen that he wouldn't even go near, you know. And now for me personally, maybe it kind of makes sense because when I see you, I mean, how many MMA fights did you have? It wasn't one or two.
7-0.
Yeah, 7-0. That's a lot of fights. And now you'll be coming up to your 14th fight in boxing. I'm sure there's been a litany of other martial arts lurking around as well. You are, like I say, a fighting man.
I had 110 kickboxing fights.
Huge.
I
Huge. I
lost
mean,
only 3 times.
there you go. I mean, that says it all. So like that's someone that is not intimidated, that is confident in their abilities and has arguably seen it and done it. But I mean, what style have you not seen really? You must have done.
The fighting styles, all these are.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now you're up in Steel City with like Sonny. Like we love Sonny. Jesse and I had Sonny on in like April, and I think he may be one of the funnest guests we've ever had. Right? He's just a funny dude. But like
Yeah.
when
Great
all of
guy.
that stuff broke out, how did I mean? What, did you just look at your phone and just go, "Makes sense. That's why that fucker didn't want to fight me."
The people who doesn't want to fight me, the only reason is that they are afraid to fight me.
Mm,
They know that they're gonna lose, because at the end of the day, if they was thinking that, listen, Florian is an easy fight, we're gonna beat him up, only money, excitement, and crowd and people I bring to the table for them, because I have
mm,
big fan base, I have big crowd. If I was only someone who have a big followers, then why these big names, big like you mentioned, someone who
yeah.
he get caught from steroids, or yeah, why all these guys doesn't wanted me to fight? Because they know that something dangerous with this Albanian guy. And yeah, that is, but the time will come, and the time is coming step by steps. I'm gonna prove.
Mm. Has there been any sort of chat but behind the scenes of like you and Adam, is it because that Adam that they are grooming to be the next superstar, and I know that you have something else to say about that because they've already got you on the books. Have they said
No,
about like you and Adam Azine or anything like that?
no. I wish Adam Azim and his brother only the best.
Yeah.
I have never thought about a potential fight, me and him or his brother, or I don't know. They starting now their boxing career. I wish him all the
Mm.
best, but I I have never thought about that. Nobody mentioned me, and it's not good to mention me right now. That.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you? I mean, who would be your dream fight? Who would be the one if they said pick who you want to fight, whatever champion? Who do you want?
I will want who will be the best at the time that they will make me this question.
Yeah.
Whoever will be at the top at this time that they're gonna make me this question, I say this guy I want. Maybe the time is Terence Crawford, maybe it's Errol Spencer, maybe it's I don't know who else. I want to fight the best guy. I don't want to be second. I didn't born to be second to in no sport in my life, or nothing what I do in my life. And this is
That's no, see that's the show of a true fighter, right? Because it's just about the accolade. It's about the position. It's not about the person that's in the way to get that. I respect that heavily. So how did you start? I mean, when did you start fighting? It must have been if you've had like 400 other fights, you must have started out in the womb, just come out, just giving it.
uh, I was young when I started. I have done when I born in Albania. I started
Yep.
with it. My father took me to Taekwondo.
Okay.
Then I was in a football, but I was fighting a lot in football,
Yeah.
in football games, and I broke my leg and I stopped. And then I started to boxing, but I started kickboxing. Sorry, I started kickboxing only to protect myself, to
Mm,
self-defense. How to say it? I didn't want to be a good fighter, or I started completely by luck, and I stayed.
nice. And then, I mean, how did you end up from kickboxing to MMA and that? Like, how did you transition into boxing? Was it just about
Yeah.
opportunity?
And no, from kickboxing to MMA I was the best in Greece. I win some titles. I won 4 times the world title in kickboxing, but not big money, not
Hmm.
people supporting me enough. No big exposure. And at the time then MMA was really popular. Was
Mm,
Conor McGregor. was making the MMA really, really popular. And I said, okay, let's try it. I was good also in MMA, you know. I was strong, my kicks. My bad thing was my wrestling. I didn't know. I knew to wrestle, but
yeah.
not
You're
good.
just a striker, right? You
Yes.
enjoy punching people and hitting people.
Yes, and by luck, someone from UK made me a good offer when I was in Sweden. And they make me offer to come in UK, in London. They're gonna make me a fight, a good money. They're gonna rent. They're gonna buy me a house, and they're gonna rent the house ready, the car, everything will be ready when I come here. You know.
Yeah.
They make everything ready, the papers, everything completely. And when I came here, these guys was big liars. They was
God.
they was making all these things, you know, to win something from me, to steal something from me, you know. But at the end of the day, I came here, and when I was young, it was a dream for me to come in UK, you know, with the papers that I have. Albanian passport is difficult to come, and it's a little bit complicated. You don't know these things because you have a British passport. I don't know what. It's a little bit, yes. We had a little bit, and I came and I stayed.
Yeah.
That was the reason that I say, listen, I'm gonna follow the route of boxing. Always, I loved boxing. Boxing was my thing from when I started in kickboxing in Greece. But I started boxing because I didn't have papers to do a boxing, because you needed the license and many things. And I said, no, I go to kickboxing.
Nice. So who was your inspirations then? So if boxing was your one, like boxing has always been my earliest and only sporting memory has always been boxing.
Muhammad Ali was for me the great. Yes.
The classic.
Yeah.
How much did you study him? Because you kind of you know you've enveloped a lot of the showmanship. Like you don't fighting like him. There's only one, right? There's only one Florian. There's only one Muhammad. But
yes, I have studied him a lot. I think his desire to win was unbreakable. Nobody had that what he have. And Tyson, Muhammad Ali, he never gave up in the ring, in the boxing fight. If you see Tyson, he was powerful in his prime. He was unbelievable, unstoppable. But at the end of his career, was giving fights away. You know, he was showing, no so much heart. And Muhammad Ali, he never did that. And his last fights, and that I love about Muhammad Ali. And me, I am like this.
You are. I mean, like I say this with the utmost respect because I know that you'll hunt me down if I'm rude. I was just there, right, and I saw it. I saw you get caught, and I see you've been wobbled. Right, it happens. It's a combat sport, and then it's the true sign of a fighter, in my opinion, is when that happens. You see that look, and you just think, "Oh, that guy's gonna get it now," and that's obviously proceeded to happen. So that in itself, like in kickboxing, you must have been dropped. Surely, you get in the essential like baseball bat swung at you with legs and stuff like that.
I had one knockdown.
Just one.
Yeah, just
You're,
one.
you're an animal. What is like the most wild story from all of your fight career that you've had? So like when you hear kickboxers, they like fly out to Kazakhstan for 75 quid to fight some national champion, and then they get put in the back of a van and they're fed like a live chicken and shit like that. Did you have any sort of wild experiences like that?
Wild. That's not wild for me. I have been.
That's just Tuesday.
No. I mean that I had many fights all over the world, but the most difficult situation that I have been, and I don't think many can do it, was to fight with the injured. I have fought in a fight with the injured hands. My both hands were destroyed.
Yeah.
And I go in a fight with broken hands. And straight after the fight, I did the operation. And this fight was with Ryland Charlton. Nobody knew about that. I dislocated my left finger 2 weeks before the fight. I go to the doctor, say you must operate it. You cannot. I couldn't put my glove in my hand. I couldn't do nothing. But I say, listen, because it was the draw with this guy that they gave me, and I was so angry that I couldn't stay without a fight and to prove them, because back then Charlton was wow, he knocked out this other guy. I don't remember his name.
I know who you mean. Like, he had a really surprising win. Florian, do you think that Jesse looks like Ryan Charlton a little bit?
Let me see him.
There he is. He's up there. Look, he's there in the white t-shirt, smiling on you.
No. He needs so long. He needs some long hair.
He's got the long hair. Turn to the side, Jess. It's there. Look, he's got it.
Wait. Okay. Yes, it's dark there, man. Yeah, it looks like a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Is he making you angry
like
just looking at him? So run me through listen, you got a dislocated thumb, you got broken hands, and you're still it's still time to fight. Going into it, yeah.
Yeah. I fought the fight like this, and straight after the fight, I operate my hands. Not one, but two hands. I operate because I couldn't do nothing with my hands. And yeah.
So how do you push yourself mindset wise to? This is just no other choice.
I will tell you something, and people maybe will not believe that, but nobody will push themselves as much as I push it in a boxing ring. That's why I told you before that I feel like that. I don't know. Let's find someone who proved me that wrong. Let's in the boxing ring, nobody will push myself how I do it. I give my heart to the ring, because I can't imagine that I didn't give my best, and my best is no limit.
Nice. I mean, that to be fair, that has been seen and proven a million times over.
Yeah.
Now, I've made jokes about this before that Jake can probably tell you about. Now, I would imagine that you do not get much abuse on social media, because I could just see. I mean, look, I'm going to guess that you drive a big blacked out saloon of some sort, maybe an Audi maybe an S6, maybe a big Merc. I would just imagine that if there's a decent amount of, the keyboard warriors, Florian, you're this, you're that, you're whatever, how often do you actually get that without being like, well, I'm just going to roll up because the Albanian Mandem are coming?
Before many years, 4 years, I will say, I was getting very angry with these people that when they was calling me, they was insulting me, family me, and I was finding them, and I was having a word. I was having a word with them, and in Albania and or in Greece.
Yeah.
And, but now.
With the Greeks, so they just open up the door and just go "Pushti Malaka" and just close the door and run away.
Yeah. Some Greek.
The important words, just those two.
Yes. And but now not anymore. There are too many to lose my mind for them. Somebody who does that, they doesn't have a personality first and doesn't have a life.
True.
Understand? And if 100%. you bring them face to face, is to ask them, please, can you tell me again what you write about me in the social media? 99.9% of them, they will never gonna say that, And 100%. That's the point. I don't get.
They're brave behind the keyboard.
Yeah.
Love that. When it comes to like the next fight, how long are we saying? You said you're having a little break. I'm assuming it's going to be after Christmas at some sort. Have you had chats with Sky at all about what's next?
No, I don't know yet what.
Just enjoying being a family man.
Yeah, it will be a good fight. I want a big fight, good fight. Whoever will be at the top in the UK at that time, is some names. They are fighting is Troy Williamson, Josh Kelly are fighting the super welterweight that I like.
Yeah.
There are some good names in the.
Would you go up?
I don't know if I will go up, but are some good names also, not only these two that I mentioned, but other names that I don't want to mention them at all.
Of course.
They are in the UK, and by the time I'm back, I will fight the best who the crowd want to fight. But someone who also give credit if I beat him, not someone who if I beat him, they will say, no, yeah, but Florian beat someone who Yeah, I want to find someone that will give credit for.
I love that. Very, very quickly, just before I know you have to go very soon, who is the best that you have trained with, worked with, sparred with? Obviously, you know, you're in the gym with Sonny. Like, Sonny is a virtuoso. Like, obviously, he's a tiny guy, but still, you know, skill set wise, like watching him must be like, okay, cool.
Doesn't matter because he's small. If he was big, he will be the same as big. You know, he's small,
Yeah.
but he's small. But he's listen. Sonny is unbelievable, intelligent fighter.
Fact.
Very smart, very smart fighter. You know, and that's why he's at the top. That's why the best trainer that I have trained is Grant Smith. Of course, Grant Smith. First of all, care for all his fighters like he cared for his son, for Dalton. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dalton's a great fighter.
Great fighter. Great fighter.
Yeah. I thought the last fight was very hard. I thought him and Casey Benjamin was a very good fight. I thought it was a very thin fight.
Yeah, because Dalton doesn't choose fights. You understand? As most of these people does. You know, Dalton. They gave him. He say okay. They will give him. I don't know who they give him next, but he will say yes. Okay, let's fight him. Yes, that is the mindset of Grant and Dalton. And
that is the mindset of a fighter, right? That is that should be the mindset of the fighter. The whole point, like you were saying, it's not about Spence. It's not about Terence. It's about that position. And if I have to go through you, I have to go through you.
Exactly.
Champ, that's 20 minutes for us, and I know you're out at dinner, which is epic. Thank you so much for joining us, my man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I hope your podcast, not this, but every podcast that you do, go well from now and after.
Listen, having the blessing from the Albanian king, that's like being knighted.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Cheers,
see you
dude.
Guys. Cheers, Rob.
Bye, mate.
See you. Bye,
see you,
mate.
Bye.
What a G.
He's a proper G, isn't he?
He's a proper G.
Mate,
could you imagine
when he turned around and he said, and after someone says stuff, so I'd find them. Can you imagine the brown pants on people?
Oh, 100%. It's like Liam Neeson, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to. I have a very special set of skills. Like,
I will find you. That's terrifying. That is terrifying.
I would say that Florian is probably, obviously, as you know, I have 6'2", 6'3" energy, but I'm only 5'9". Right? I know that he's listed at 5'8.5" on BoxRec.
He's got probably... 6'4" energy, maybe.
Oh, come on, black 6'4" energy. It's just like he's got Wilder energy. Imagine that knocking on the door. It'd be like Jay and Bob, innit? Where he's just like
100%.
So I heard that you called me.
Runs off what he says.
Bellend. Did you call me a bellend? Because this looks like it's you. Was this you? Imagine that shit.
The fear.
And the thing is as well, it's a very different energy because when they're a heavyweight or a cruiserweight or even like anything above super middle, they're going to be...
They don't need to be intimidating. They're just big.
No, because they're quite big, right? So you'd open the door and just go, shit, I don't need this. But then when the Albanian king swags up and he's just like, do you want to explain yourself? You've got two choices. Well, three choices. Either you end up in the white fucking van at the back that he's rolling up with the boys. You immediately apologize and have to give it the chimpanzee hand up, wait for the touch from the superior chimp because you have been cocked.
Humbled
so bad. Humbled is not humbled anymore. You are cocked. You have to give him your wife and your house. You have to hand over the deed to your house.
50% of your future.
Yeah, you got to pay a stipend.
Not 90.
Yeah. It's a percentage in perpetuity forever until you don't exist anymore, and then maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah, but even then, that's thin
or you go a little bit bare knuckle bad man, and just hope for the best, and
just just blind mind.
You just have to.
But the people, but you know the people that are writing the type of people that will do that will write those messages, the haters and all the troll cucks. They're never going to step into that mindset.
I know, but you've still done it, and he's still at your house. And he was saying it. He wasn't doing it here. He was doing it in Albania.
No, and Greece.
I mean, the Greeks are a bit different, but the Albanians, mate, like. Put it this way: if someone said to me that there's an Albanian that's really got the ump with you, I wouldn't be okay about it.
Nah.
There are hard people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, like
Yeah.
they're fighting people, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, they do a lot of gold and FX trading, but not necessarily on the screens. If you get what Mans is saying. What a guy. I like just to give a little bit of disclosure. Like, I think that we got vetted by him beforehand because
yeah, and I respect that
I respect
massively
that as well.
because
That's the first one that's ever
that's a
done that.
really good sign. That's a really
Yeah,
good sign for him as a he's very aware of himself professionally and as a businessman,
yep.
meaning that like he's able to decipher you've got some of those some pundits and journals out there that are just very quick to spring shit questions on fighters.
Yeah,
The type who's like it. What's his name? Who I hate,
Steve.
the British geezer.
Steve Bunce.
No, McIntosh.
Which one's Macintosh?
He's like the one that was in the photo I sent you
You sent me a lot of photos.
with Barry
Uh,
and her.
Vaguely. Oh,
Um,
oh yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Oh,
always steps
the
in and he throws the
giant.
most provocative questions at fighters when they've just
Oh,
finished. He's
mate.
such a jar, and
Yeah,
that's the sort of people that I think like the vetting you is so smart from him if that is what he
yeah.
does, because it means that he avoids people like that who are going to just derail certain conversations and direct things to get the fucking clickbait caption off you.
Well, this is it, right? So this has been ever since the old Geordie Gate, which, in my opinion, we put the Sonny Edwards clip up. Who, I will ride or die with Sonny because he's
Yeah,
an absolute G and a gentleman, much like Florian. That whole, like,
that
maybe I
energy
want
at that
gold.
camp
It's big.
is good. It's
Like
big. It's old school boxing in a
Yeah,
new school way.
exactly. And like the thing is with Florian, that he's so switched on. Do you remember when Sonny said that like he'll just be training and doing the bag, and he's like, "Oh, I need to film this for socials, or I need to do this, or I need." Wait, how much body
Yeah.
did that dude have in his hair as well? That
That
geezer's
was that
hair
was the
is
most immense hair I've seen. That was immense.
like, as someone that doesn't have any, and as someone
It
that
was like
does,
it
which
was
is
thick.
yourself,
It was like what's his name? Johnny Bravo hair.
great. Like
It
that
was
man,
phenomenal.
I want to test his levels of testosterone because I
Mm.
think it might just say all. You
It
get
might
the
just
result,
say
and it
complete.
just says
It might just be a
it
tick complete.
just complete, just
100%
one
complete.
tick. But no, I was saying with like I would never personally, and we do the pod and we have access to people within reason. There's still obviously, if Tyson ever got put in front of us, it would be silly for us to say, "Nah, I don't want to do Tyson." You'd
Mm.
have to do Tyson. But then on the other side to that, there's an agreement that you make as gentlemen, as humans, which is that if someone's deciding to give you their time, don't be a cock.
Yeah.
Don't decide that you're going to ask these big bad boy questions. Like what you're saying, someone's just had a fist fight. Don't ask horrible questions. You
No,
don't need to do
don't
that.
have an agenda behind your conversation to get
Fact.
what you want. It's I think it's journalists, isn't it? In general, outside of sport, in boxing, and other sports, they always do that. They're always like,
Yeah, but
there's always
like,
snide ulterior motives behind anything they do. They don't do it for the sake of representing an individual and giving them a platform to then to build their own brand and letting the people know who they are as a person. Like,
it's a tough one, isn't it? Because essentially their job is snitching. But also,
yeah,
they're professional. They're professional snitches. But then on the
Double
other side to
grasses.
it, yeah, proper double grass. But then, like, we also need the information that they are snitching about.
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
makes the sport better, and it's a
And
real problem.
it builds the interest and the hype around situations and fights. But
Yeah, there's just like I tell you what I want to see is going forward. So like everyone's running the risk. So from what I can gather, Eddie will do an interview with most people unless you've properly pissed Eddie off. He will do an interview with you. It may not be great. It may be very short, whatever, but he will give you time. What I want to start seeing, and we saw it a little bit with, do you remember, must have been the Usyk fight. Do you remember when someone was giving them a load of stick on the way back through the tunnel and he turned around and he went, "What'd you fucking say?" And then he went, and he went, "Ah, you shit it," and walked off. I want to see that sort of start. with like journos and the YouTube journos and like even like people like us, because like if I've got a wild hair up my Gary and I decide that this is the night that for clicks and clips I run one through and try and really wind up Florian Marku to see what happens, or Fabio, or Gens, name insert any fighter that's on regularly, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that that's, you wouldn't do it with, so my argument is with this stuff, I wouldn't invite you round to mine for a couple of beers and then just start going bad on you, because it's just rude.
Yeah.
Right.
It lacks. Do you know what it is? It's not a human conversation at that point. It's a proper agenda.
It's manufactured, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's already been rehearsed, and they've like sat and they've sort of thought, how can I word this sentence and question so that there's 6 meanings behind anything that is said? What is the best I can get out of this short question? Rather than it being like, right, I've got a short amount of time. See what you want to say. You talk to us.
I don't get it. And you know, maybe that's why we're only.
Maybe it's because that's the double grass's job.
It's professional. It's a professional snitching, bro.
It is. It's professional snitch. And like,
all right. How about this? Let's name names, right? So we've actually donned the mic. We've actually got our shit together for a change, and we're actually at a presser, at an event with the mics, with the media passes. Never going to happen. Do you know why? Because every time we get any sort of pass and we get sat with the Z-listers, you and me are absolutely off our canister, dribbling and watching the fights. There's no way anyone's getting asked anything.
Like, what question we got to ask an hour later?
Bruv, the only question that you've ever asked me at a boxing show is that how many rounds has gone by. That's it.
That's true.
Yeah. How many songs has played? So we've got some sort of marker of where we are in the evening.
Where's the totem?
Yeah. But I'm going to throw this situation out there. You got Hannah Rankin in front of you, because you and I both, like, there's no reason for me not to like her. I want to be very transparent and very clear. There is just something that I find intensely unlikable, but I'm also mentally ill. You, on the other hand, are slightly ginger, which means that you're ill in other ways. Yeah. Right? And the beard's going a little bit grey at the bottom, which I quite like.
I don't mind that.
So, yeah, Hannah, are you going to go bad on hands?
Still wouldn't.
That's the see.
Still wouldn't. Like,
that's it.
Even on Noel, a trainer, I still wouldn't.
No.
Like,
because they're still giving you their time. They're still good enough to go on content for you. And if you are trying to build some sort of mini empire, the problem is that the naughty part of it is the interesting part. Like
being a snide gets
I
people's
watched the
attention.
Geordie, right? That little interview, he didn't have to leave I've only got 40 minutes. Because as you heard from this episode, I won't even cut it out. Florian only had 20, and he did that for us while he was at dinner with his family.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That shows you the level.
And that should be a representation of character.
Fact.
It shouldn't be used as like a tool against someone.
Yeah, exactly. So why would you go out of your way then to be a cock with someone that's gone out of their way to do that?
So I haven't watched that whole interview. I've only seen the clips, and I can already sort of like surmise what's happened, because from most accounts from Big Tyson, he's not a cunt. He might be a bit mad, but he's not a cunt. He's not going to turn on. You've never seen him turn on someone like that. So why would he just start now?
By the way, he's been in the studio with the Geordie once or twice. He's done.
Which means other things must have happened to like accumulate towards that.
I'll tell you tomorrow morning what's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know what's going on there. But maybe for the Patreon. Patreon.com, fighting words. £2 a month, be a local celebrity. £5 a month, join the familia. Or if you're a local business and you want to drop that smooth 150 a month, that's the TMT tier, I believe. But yeah, patreon.com, fighting words. Instagram finally growing. Bit weird that old Zucks has lost fucking everything, and now all of a sudden our Instagram is growing. Finally,
they've stopped hating on us.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Still can't advertise though. But Zucks, it ain't that long before you're gonna need my 25 quid, you fucking jib.
To carry on your MMA lessons.
Yeah. Oh God. I'd fight him for charity in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. He would get I would do boxing and fly and knee him. Like we would agree the rule set and I'd fly and kick him.
I'd do a Mike Tyson and bite his ear off for the fun of it.
Mike Tyson.
I'd just spit the gummy out.
Oh. I don't even know what I was really talking about. I've got no excuse about it. The interview. Right. Yeah. So he didn't ask him anything that badly, but the tone of which that he asked him was the problem. And I know that sounds super liberal and super progressive, but you were every single thing that he said was incendiary. Everything that he said was to try and get the reaction. And then when he doubled down, and to be fair, Tyson held it together, right? It was when the interview ended that you saw that I won't be doing any more interviews with you, you tosser, you bald fat prick. Like, that's how it is. And granted that he did say afterwards, this is just the example that I'm using, right? Because we've seen it a few times where, like the guy that we had on the other night that you had to miss because of a million reasons. Yeah. Like Gabe's was saying that he's had cease and desists, he's had banning orders, he's had this and that, and Oscar De La Hoya's fallen out with him, and like all of these names that he's fallen out with. But then, as he's now 49, 47, 49, whatever he was, I can't really remember. He's like, granted, I was quite negative and confrontational towards them. And as long as you own that, that is what it is. But like I said, I mean, to sell the story again with Sonny, because he is part of the Florian camp and the Steel City gym lot, verbatim, before we press record, is there anything you don't want us to ask or talk about? No, it's fine. And then in his example, much like Florian, he was like, I've been doing media all day. I'm very happy to do this for you guys. I'm excited, etc., etc. But if it sounds like I'm doing pre-rehearsed answers, it's because I've been asked these questions 5 times today. And that's when we went mixed race porn stars, NFTs, anal, computer games,
video
Twitch
games,
streams.
Boom.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Twitch stream. Discuss. Openly expand. And that, yeah, I don't know.
That's one of the thing with that what you're saying about how he was asking the questions to top Big Tice is exactly why I don't like that Macintosh.
Yeah.
It's that like that tone and the insinuation in the question and that like that ulterior motive behind what you're asking, and you can see that like you're being a snide, but you're trying to pretend you're not a snide. You're trying to be my mate and be a snide about it. You're a proper double grass, like a proper narc. Yeah. And that's what that sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, like there are people that can kind of pull it off, which is like, it goes up and down. Like a Steve Bunce in the UK can kind of pull it off, but let's not forget.
He's almost too blunt though, because like he might not like. He'll be like straight up, this is my agenda with this question. It has an agenda. It's not hidden. It's like, I want to know this. It's controversial. Talk to me.
How many times in Steve Bunce's past has he done blackface, in your opinion? More than 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely gone as a quote unquote reggae guy to a fancy dress party for sure. Yep. Many times.
Double figures for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. But like even Buncey, I think he's quite accountable and he quite holds himself up. Do you know who was a fucking jar? Was Max Kellerman. Like Max
fucking hate Kellerman, man.
I don't hate him. I will say that. I was like categorically, I do not hate him. He's a fantastic analyst and he's a good commentator. But when you put him on the mic, if you weren't one of the HBO boys or you weren't one of the chosen ones, he was going to ask you some mean questions. Do you remember James Toney and Jim Gray? Just bashed the mic out his hand and said, well, you're walking near me. I don't like you. Like,
yeah,
perfect. And I think because there was a little phase before all of this, like mad new social media, new media stuff, where you couldn't get away with it because you would have to have access in person to that person. And let's be honest, you don't do that with fighters. They're wild motherfuckers. Even the friends, at any point, they're animals. You know what I mean? Imagine
And you
getting
get
a
what you're
little.
coming, and you get what you get what's coming to you
Yeah,
with that. It's deserved.
it is. But now it's a little bit different because they're not the main platform anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we are, but like people like the IFLs, the Seconds Out, the ID Boxings, the ones like that, they are the main platform. They are the main way to get everything just moving and the most eyes on it. So they have to kind of be beholden to them a little bit. I don't know.
It's
Is there
left
anyone
it,
you
it's
would give it dirty to? Because that's the
nah.
question, isn't it?
Not not if it's someone that's giving me time, like because it proper makes you it makes it all that whole action feels proper grassy and proper like
Yeah.
snitchy, and like you're getting a step up off the back of someone else.
That's the rude part.
Yeah,
I think that
would
even if
there
we
was
had Chris
someone
Mannix on, I reckon we'd be all
I
right.
don't know about I don't know about
No,
that.
no, I reckon
I'd confront him with it. I wouldn't be snide about it. I'd confront him and
I'd
say,
ask
"Why
him.
are you
Yeah.
so biased? Like when you're a pundit, you're a horrible pundit. Just so you know, like you're biased about the worst shit. You talk random bollocks about other stuff.
He does talk random bollocks. He's not a bad well, okay, he's a good commentator, which
He's
is
a good
why he's there.
commentator.
He's a good
Yeah.
commentator. He's a bad pundit. You're right.
Bad
But
pundit.
he's a good commentator, which gets him to the dance, right?
Yeah.
But then
and also
will...
because he's got that like Max Kellerman style voice and energy when he talks, which does work for the American audience. It's just he's so blind to what he's watching. I feel like he doesn't really understand what he's watching yet.
Yeah, I think that's true. But then when he's
because Barry called him out in the last weekend that they were working together. Barry's a G.
Barry, I tell you what, Barry would never do that. Barry's never like giving you...
He's straight down the line, isn't he?
Yeah. Also, there is actually an episode that we did with Barry on the Patreon. It was Patreon exclusive back in the day. I think it was about 18 months ago. But Barry's a fucking legend. Absolute legend, the geezer. Just on that note, I think we should call that there. And I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Patreon.com, fighting words. Florian Marku, what a legend.
Absolute G.
I wish I had his hair. I really do.
Envy. Power envy there.
He pulls off the hand tat quite well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Legend. Bye, mate.